Hi Rockstars, I'm Aly, your Rockstar Bar Girl, and welcome to the Rockstar Bar Girl Tip of the Week.
I'm a rock star. Every day I rock hard. I'm a motherfucking rock star. Every day I rock hard. I'm a rock star.
This week's tip is inspired by a comment question that I've gotten from a lot of you, and it's in regard to memorizing a lot of drinks, studying a lot of drinks, etc. Number one tip for memorizing absolutely anything under the sun: flashcards. It seems sort of silly, and it definitely seems kind of juvenile, I know, but I cannot stress the importance and the usefulness of flashcards. It's really a great way to get your brain to remember a lot of information in a really short period of time. The number one best way to memorize a drink recipe is to make the drink over and over and over again, right? But most of us don't have a home bar. Most of us are not already in hospitality and don't have access to a functioning bar. And so how do you learn a bunch of recipes when you can't make that drink over and over again? I swear by the effectiveness of flashcards. It's not necessarily great for long-term knowledge. After a while, if you're not constantly flashing yourself, if you're not constantly flashing yourself, you are probably going to forget that information. But if you are trying to make sure that you have a certain amount of recipes under your belt so that you can prepare for an interview or get ready for your first day at a martini bar or whatever, flashcards is going to be so helpful. The key to flashcards being effective is using them correctly. So I do have a system. I'm like Elizabeth Warren. I'm the lady with the plan. I always got the plan, okay? So I'm not gonna just tell you to use flashcards and not give you a full breakdown, Rockstar Bar Girl breakdown of how to do the flashcards. Actually, let me see if I have my drink flashcards right now, because then I can show y'all. Hold on. Okay, so the key to really optimizing the flashcard is to lay them out in the most effective way. This is what I think is the most effective way to make a flashcard for drinks. So on the front, I hope you guys can see it. On the front is where you want to put the name of the drink. So this is a card for the old-fashioned. Old-fashioned cocktail is what I've put on the front. On the back, focus on things and my face. Oh, okay, here we go. So on the back, you want to put in the top left corner the type of glass. So an old-fashioned goes in an old-fashioned glass. And then you want to put information about the recipe. Make it as simple as possible, as few words as possible. And if there's something important about like how the drink is built, whether you stir it and that's like important to the drink or something like that, then you can put that in there. But generally I just keep it to like the recipe in the order that I would put the ingredients into the glass. And then on the bottom, you're just gonna put what your garnish is, if there is a garnish. And if there isn't a garnish, write the word none, so that you don't confuse it for, sometimes you might think like, did I forget the garnish or is there really no garnish? You wanna remind yourself that there's actually no garnish on that drink, write none. Now, once you've made your super effective, neatly organized, laid out flashcards, now it's time to test yourself. And one of the biggest mistakes that we make when using flashcards is basically like the way the brain works is it looks for things that it understands. So when you're going through your cards, your brain is gonna focus in on the drinks that it already knows the recipe for, and it's going to stumble on the cards that it continues to stumble on, if that makes sense. So you'll go around 2-3 times and you'll notice that you keep messing up on the same cards. And it's because your brain is connecting with the cards that you get, not connecting with the cards that you're not getting. So as you go through your cards, you want to narrow down your cards just to the cards that you don't understand. Every time you go through your cards, let's say you have 20 cards. Every time you go through, The cards that you got 100%, you didn't have to cheat, you didn't have to look at the back. Take that card and pull it out of the pile. So then when you go through, instead of your brain just focusing in on the card that it understands, it's being forced to learn the cards that it doesn't understand. Continue to study those cards, continue to memorize those cards, and when it gets to the point where you pull that card out and you know it exactly top to bottom, glassware, recipe, and garnish, and you totally remember it, pull it out of the pile. Pull it out of the pile. Pull it out of the pile. And you'll keep whittling your pile down just to the ones that you don't know, and just to the ones that you need to study or memorize, work on memorizing. And eventually, you'll get rid of those as well. Pull all your cards together and keep studying all of them now. Keep reiterating all of them. If you don't already work in a bar, you don't have a home bar, access to alcohol, or an ability to practice those drinks, do that rotation of your flashcards once in the morning, once at night, every single day until you get a job. If you watch my previous video on whether or not there's a certain amount of knowledge that you need to start bartending, I firmly believe that you don't. There isn't a magical number of recipes that you need to have memorized to start bartending. But maybe you have to memorize a menu for a new job that you just got. Whatever it is that you're working on, memorizing recipes is going to be a lot easier using flashcards. Flashcards can truly take you from nothing to something in a very short period of time. So if you like this video or you found it helpful, please click on the thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them for me down below. And of course, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at rockstar_bargirl and check out my website, therockstarbargirl.com. See you guys in the next video. Bye, Rockstars.
Rockstar.